everyone, my name's Nikki and welcome to Flosstube number 4. It's been a few weeks, but it's nice to be back. First of all, I want to say a really big thank you to everybody who watched my last video, or all 3 of my videos now. It's been just so fantastic to read all of your fabulous comments. So many beautiful, supportive, encouraging, kind comments about my stitching, my voice. Thank you for reassuring me that it's okay, and also for your kind words about Niam's appearance in my last video. He was completely chuffed to hear all of the kind things that you had to say and how much you admired his little project bag that he'd made. So yeah, he's very keen to make another appearance, but maybe another time. Some more thank yous for those that have given me a shout out. I've had some pretty people that I really admire shout me out, so I've been really I don't know what the word is, so just pleased, I suppose, just really stoked to know that some really famous Flosstubers out there have watched my little videos. So the first one is Carol, Saltbox Stitcher. That was pretty, oh my goodness, I did squeal when I heard Carol mention my little channel. So thank you, Carol. I really appreciate the shout out. Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch has given me a shout out as well. Thanks, Liz. And Michelle from Mama Loves You GB. I really appreciate you ladies giving me a shout out and sending some traffic my way. I also want to say hi to Debbie at Creatively Yours. She also shouted me out. And I also want to say hi, Alice. I hope you're going well, ladies. First thing, I've got my list here. That's why I'm looking down. If I don't have a list, my videos would be about 3 minutes long because I'd forget what I wanted to show you and talk about. I had a couple of questions. One of them was, how did I come up with the name of my channel, which is Nikki Noodle Stitching? And it's pretty simple, really. One of my cousins used to always call me Nikki Noodle, still does call me Nikki Noodle. And many years ago, when I first set up my Instagram account, I wanted just a unique name, and I thought Nikki Noodle, that'll do. And it's been pretty much the same with starting my own Flosstube channel. It's, oh yeah, Nikki Noodle, that'll do. So Nikki Noodle Stitching it is, simple as that. I've also had quite a few people ask me about where I find the variety of linens that I use, and mostly I do get them from stores in Australia. Etsy stores are probably the biggest seller that I use, or you know, the various stores on Etsy is where I get most of my linens from. But I also have placed orders from international stores in the US, and Threads Entwined. I've gotten a little bit of Picture This Plus fabric from Trish at Threads Entwined, and I'd really recommend, you know, international buyers. Trish is wonderful, really great service, and I actually get the orders pretty quickly from Trish. It's only a couple of weeks, which is pretty good considering the distance they have to come. I have also ordered from 123 Stitch in the past. That again is pretty good. I do like to support the smaller shops though, the bricks and mortar and Etsy stores too. Absolutely support Etsy stores. But I'd rather support the smaller stores than the great big sort of stores that are behind, you know, not terribly visible, and you don't get to know the staff and that sort of thing. So that's where I get most of my linen from. I've worked out how to put links into the description box down underneath. So I will include a little section in there about where all of my favourite stores that I buy all of my supplies from. So of course you'll see places like the Cruel Goblin in there, the Gobes. You'll also see a Stitch in Time in Hobart. That's another wonderful store. You can get some really lovely hand-dyed linen from those ladies down there, as well as some Zweigart linen. They have a lot of Zweigart linen in lots of different counts. Where else do I shop from? Oh, a store that I have found, an online store, is Alison Cole Embroidery, and she's located in Invermay in Victoria, and she's got a really great selection of silk, so Gloriana and Auvera Soie, as well as a whole range of other silks that she uses to do her embroidery. She does a lot of surface embroidery, so crewel work and that sort of thing, and I think is starting to sort of expand out into silks used for cross stitching and that sort of stuff as well, along with some Zweigart linen. So there's lots of, there are a number of shops popping up, and I have spent a bit of time trying to track down some good stores. I'm also very lucky in that my dear friend Lisa has a patchwork store only about 2.5 kilometres from where I live. Beautiful, beautiful patchwork store called Nesting Needles, and it's where I get most of my patchwork fabrics from. She's got a great selection, including some Tilda and some really beautiful Chula pink fabrics and Kaif and lots of different Civil War prints and lots of really great variety. But she's also starting to stock some Zweigart linens, which is really exciting. I've bought, she's got, like most places, it's been very difficult for people to get linen in stock because of COVID and the production and distribution difficulties that we've had. So Lisa's got a small but growing range of linens, and I have bought some of her 40 count, which she's only got in white at the moment, but I've dyed it myself using Rit dye and tea and coffee and that sort of stuff. So that's pretty exciting that her range is growing. It's 2.5 k's up the road, so a little bit dangerous. I just whip to the shop, grab a couple of things. She's also growing her range of threads and charts as well. So that's all really exciting. Okay, so today I thought I would show you some previous finishes. I've got a few different little bits and pieces to show you, and the first one is this little la-di-da chart that I stitched. It's a little freebie pattern that I stitched a number of years ago, probably last year actually, so not that long ago, and I thought this was appropriate to show you given Easter's coming up. It's got the cute little bunny and little cute love hearts, and I think I stitched this one using DMC 309, number 309, which is like a really pretty pink red, really pretty. And so that was that little cutie, and I just put that in a very simple black frame that I bought from Spotlight, and I stitched that on a 40 count, what's it called, summer khaki. So that's a cute little finish that I had. The next one I'll show you is this little one. I stitched this one last year. Liam's standing out the window looking at me. He wants to come and say hello, so he might come in a moment. This is a Kathy Barracks chart. I think it's called Bird's Eye View. Sorry, I can't remember. I didn't pull the chart. But this one I stitched using, again, just good old DMC. And I used an even weave for this one. And it's got no glass in it, so there's no reflection, yay. But I thought that was really cute. That's a 36 count even weave. I'm not sure whether it's a Lugana or what it is. But certainly, I mean, it's really nice, but not my favourite fabric to stitch on. I think I definitely do like linens the best. And again, that was just a really nice little frame that I found at Spotlight. And I just put that in there myself, just laced it on a piece of cardboard and stuck it in there. And that's got one of those little things at the back, so I can just put that on display and it's all cute. I also grabbed a couple of things. I had some interested people who wanted to see some of my embroidery rather than just my cross stitch, because I think they understand correctly that I do the odd bit of embroidery, not just cross stitch. And this was a really cute little pin cushion that I stitched a few years ago. This is wool applique. It's not really embroidery, but it's using a needle and thread, so I'll share it with you guys. I think you'd all appreciate the fact that it's needle and thread and it's cute. And so this is an Australian designer called Anni Downs, and her company is called, oh, I've drawn a blank. Her shop is called the Home Patch in Bathurst. She's got a patchwork store that she runs down there as well. Hatched and Patched is the name of her company. And so this was a little doggy that she designed. It's supposed to be a pincushion, so it's got walnut crystals in there. It could do with quite a few more in there. I didn't stuff it very well. But that's the little dog. So you can see he's got a cute collar on, a little, I guess it's a little name dingly dangly, his little ball and his bowl of food, and just some little crosses at the top there. So that was one I did. That was a quick stitch a few years ago. But Annie has got lots of beautiful, all sorts. She's a bit like me. She loves anything to do with needle and thread. She'll try her hand at. She designs fabulous patchwork quilt kits, all with a lot of embroidery and a lot of piecework and that sort of stuff. I have done a couple of her quilts as well. One I did when Liam actually was. When I was expecting Liam, I made a little quilt for him in his cot. So I've still got that, so I'll show that another time too. And then I just backed it with some quilter's cotton, which I assume was in the little kit. It all came with a little kit. And this is another little piece that I did a few years ago. Another Australian designer, Natalie Bird. Her company is called Birdhouse. And this was just a little piece that I picked up, another little kit. It even came with a little cute little white frame and the little sewing machine button. But I really love doing this, and it's mainly stitched in back stitch, and it's got lots of French knots and some satin stitch as well, some lazy daisy stitches over here in the little flowers. And I just thought this summed up me perfectly. My heart sings with needle in hand. How true is that? I love sewing, I love quilts. And it looks a little bit like me with my crazy curly hair. So that was really a sweet little stitch. So I thought you might like to see that. Now on to some more recent things I've been working on. I have had a start and a finish. And that was this little chart I showed you last Flosstube. This was a little chart that I bought from the Humble Stitcher on Etsy, and I kitted it up just with some random threads that I had that I thought looked similar to how it was stitched. And so that's that one. Some cute little bunnies across the bottom. And again, I will include in the drop-down box my little conversion for this one, because I think the chart called for DMC threads, and I really like overdyed threads because it gives that nice aged look. So if anyone likes what I've done, then have a look in the drop-down box and you can find the colours I use. They were all Weeks Dye Work threads. So that was that one, and I just finished it with some quilter's cotton that I had in my stash. Yep, got the obligatory cat hair on it. Everything's got cat hair. I really need to stitch that chart from the Scarlet House, the one that says like there's dog hair on this or cat hair on this. I could do both because I've got 2 cats and 2 dogs. So there's hair on everything in my house. So that was that one. I actually finished that one this morning, and I just stuffed it with some wool, sheep's wool, which is actually from our own sheep. We've got a couple of pet sheep, Billy and Sean. I think you would have seen a picture of the boys in the beginning, the edited clip that Blake's put in for me. Liam took some photos of the boys this morning, and there's probably also a picture of our alpacas as well. we haven't got much property. We've got about 2 hectares, but we've got some lawnmowers. So, and the benefit of having sheep is that they get shorn once a year, and we keep the wool, and I can use it to stuff pincushions. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. Okay, I've also had another great finish, one that seemed to take forever given the size of it, and it's this cute little one. It's Amateus or Amateus. So that's Anna. Oh, I finally finished her, and I just think she's the most pretty little thing. These flowers here, it's not very big, but oh my goodness, it took so long. Just, you know, you stitch 1 or 2 colours in one, 1 or 2 crosses in one colour, and then you need to change, and then you stitch another 2 when you change again. It's just lots of colour changes. I watched Reece's new Flosstube video yesterday, and she showed some of her reflet de soie charts with all of those beautiful borders. Oh my goodness, they are just glorious, but whew, they're going to take some time. Anyway, so that's that one with the cute little kitty cat. And I would like to get this framed and put on my very extensive sampler wall, which at the moment has got four pieces on it. So that's that one. And Liam's staring at me again. It's really creepy. He's outside. Okay, I'll set her there. What else? Oh, I have had a new start. After my last video, I did have a new start. I'll try and find her. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Liam was creeping me out because he was standing outside looking in the window at me filming. So I told him to skedaddle. So anyway, so I was showing you a new start that I had. I think I started at the afternoon that I filmed my last Flosstube. And it is a GTR Chart. And that's this pretty little one. The little red lady. Petite Filly, I don't know. Apologies, French people, I can't speak French. En Rouge. Red lady or red girl, I think it is. Girl. Filly. Young one, I think. Anyway, so it was this one I thought I'd start because I just really loved it. And I had this really perfect piece of sepia fabric from number 12 Stitch Co. I'll just take that needle out. So this is where I've gotten to. There's not a whole lot more left to do. I think there's 2 roses up here either side of the girl's head. Have a look how skinny her waist is. I wish mine was that skinny. Anyway, so that's her. The threads are really pretty for this one. Of course they are. They're all pretty, aren't they? So there's these. All these pretty ones. I wasn't sure whether this one would show up very well, but it's surrounded by some other colours, so it's okay. So that's that one. I'll just chuck it on the floor. I'll clean that up later. I was a bit unsettled again. I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to stitch on. I did end up settling on a couple of different things, but in the meantime I did flip from that one to this one. So I ended up having to buy myself a magnifier for this one because I just could not, I could see the holes but I just kept making mistakes, and so I did bring it in here to show you. I've got this little contraption with my little kitty cat bag on it just so I don't set on my house on fire. So it's just this one, just one like that. It is a knot light and it's got a little, you probably can't see that, it has got some little LED lights in it, so it lights up your work. And I've got a Lowry frame, so I just use this little clamp to attach to it and bring it in front of me and off I go. So it's been quite good. Blind myself with the lights. So I did end up buying that to help me see. I still haven't done very much, and I did discover I had miscounted, so I'd made a boo-boo, and I think it was over this side. I had done it too short, so now you can see it's not centered on the fabric, and that's because I made a counting error. Whoops. Oh well. But I did fix it because the whole thing would have been, you know, wonky otherwise. So that's where that's up to. And the 103 of Veriswire silks are growing on me. I do have them here. All these pretties. And I did have some funny comments. People asking me to crinkle my plastic bags. They loved hearing this little crinkle sound in Flosstube videos. So I know some of you have those little earbud things in and they probably hurt your ears, but others just love it. I like it, but anyway, whatever. So they're the pretty colours. You can see through the glare. Oh, I'll take them out. Look at those pretty reds. So that's Anne Morrison. So I will keep working on her at some point. And that one is in my little vinyl front bag that I made myself with just those little, I think they're Wee Jane fabrics. They were left over from a quilt that I made ages ago. Okay, I have also another whip. This was another whip I worked on. This is Mary Miller, 1842 I think it is. I think that's the date. And this is a Scarlet House piece. This I have stitched on 40 count platinum from Zweigart using all of the called for threads. So, and you can probably tell there's not a whole lot left to do. I'm pretty close on this one. So I've done the alphabets and most of the little saying, and there's another little basket of flowers over here. Another, quite a big alphabet over here, and I think this basket's not quite finished yet either, but it's coming along pretty well and shouldn't be too long before I finish her. Okay, do you want to see the chart? I can show you the chart for her. I'll take it out of the plastic. Crinkle, crinkle. That's her. So you can see I'm not too far from being finished. It's mainly this large alphabet here. It might appear that they're eyelets, but they're actually not. It's all cross stitch. And there is a tiny, tiny bit of over one in this chart. And it's that little cool bird there, his little legs are stitched 1 over 1. So I did use my new little light magnifier to help me put those in. Made life much easier. So I was happy with that. Okay. What else have I been working on? See, you can tell how many whips I've worked on that are just all over the place. This one I have worked on is a la-di-da chart called Fracta Flowers. This cute little one. And this is the one I moaned about last time about the chart not being real good because it's quite small. And sensibly, quite a number have said, why don't you just go and get it enlarged at a photocopy place? Great idea, ladies. Great suggestion. Anyway, I have continued to work on it and I'm actually really enjoying it now because it's quite nice just to have quite large areas of one colour. Maybe my brain's a little bit simple, and so that's where that one's up to. So I think the last time I showed you I was up to the very top of this urn or whatever that is, a vase or an urn or whatever. So I've put in the leaves at the top, and you can see the little bird's legs here. They're so cute. So cute. Anyway, so that one's coming along pretty well. And that one is on a, I think it calls for a 32 count, but I'm stitching it on a 40 count. I think this might be weathered shingle. I might have misled you before and told you it was Winter's Brew. I think it's weathered shingle. Whoops, I just squished it, made it all wrinkly. So that's that one. And I have made mistakes in that, but I didn't correct those because that's no big deal. And that one is mainly DMC, good old DMC, and one Gentle Arts thread. Last whip I worked on was a sampler from Saxony, Itchy Nose. You're right, Carol, it does happen. Sampler from Saxony. So what's this monster? This one. So I'm still up to the bottom. And I did get, I placed an order with the Quill Goblin a few weeks ago and got some more threads for this one that I needed. And so that's where this one's up to. So it's looking really pretty. And I know they're not pumpkins, but they just remind me of pumpkins, the shape and the colour, sort of. So these little guys I stitched with that cinnamon. I think it's a Gentle Arts thread, cinnamon and a few other things, and then I just put a few more of these in, put in a couple of flowers here and the grapevine and some more little crowns. So not a whole lot more done on that one, but that's certainly a long-term project given it's 570 stitches long or something. So anyway, that's that. Okay, oh, my notes disappeared. Never mind. So I think the next thing I wanted to talk about were my plans, what I'm going to be doing for the next, between now and my next Flosstube video. And so what I am planning on doing is finishing Mary Miller. Hopefully that will happen in the next couple of weeks. Depending on how much stitching time I've had. Work has been really, really crazy busy. So I've been working reasonably long hours. And of course, you know, the school drop off, pick up, run around, all that sort of stuff. You know, there's not a whole lot of time left to stitch, but you know, you get that. Something else I want to get back to and try and finish, although I do get bored with pieces if I stitch on them for too long. So I guess that's the reason I have a number of whips, is so that I can sort of chop and change and do what I feel like doing rather than getting bored with monotonous stitching. And so something that I've been working on, and this was a project I started last year, I participated in the Modern Folk Embroideries stitch along from last year, the 2020 stitch along for, it's called a family patchwork sampler. So it was this one, and it's supposed to be done by now, but I'm really bad at stitch alongs. Start alongs are more my style. You start together and then you finish it 4 years later or more. So it was this one, and I do really love that. But it is a whopper, and there's a ton of stitching in that. It looks, you would think at first glance, oh yeah, that looks doable and manageable, but it's got a lot of stitches in there. He's genius, Jacob. Genius. I love his designs. But that's that one. So it did tell me somewhere how many stitches is in it, but oh yeah, 30,600 crosses in the whole piece, so it's quite large. And I've made reasonable headway with it. And that's this. So I put in all the scaffolding, which is something I like to do, all of the lines and things. Sorry. For some reason my camera just decided to stop, but anyway. So that's it. That's where I'm up to, and I'm stitching this using a Silks For You silk in this pretty variegated blue colour. It's sort of a teal and a mid blue, like a denim blue in the one thread, so it's quite pretty. And that's it. So I would like to, I think my plans are to work on that for over the next couple of weeks. Just pick it up every now and again and put a few stitches in, because I'd like to finish that one. Okay, more plans. I think I spoke about this one last time and I didn't start it. I was going to start it, but I haven't. And this is Harrietta. So that's Harrietta, and I am going to start her. I'd like to have her done for Easter, but I just think she's the cutest little thing. Did you notice I even put lipstick on today? That's very rare for me. Forgot any on my teeth? No, not yet. It's a miracle. I normally get it on my teeth when I wear it. So that's Harrietta. Yell out if you'd like to do a start along with me for Harrietta. And these are her pretty, pretty colours. Can you see? I haven't got a piece of paper. No, that's okay. So they're the really, really pretty colours. Isn't that a pretty pink? What's that one called? Rose Petal. So that's those. She is going to be extremely cute when she's done. And I'm planning to stitch her on a 40 count summer khaki, because that's what I have. Just a scrap of it, because you don't need a very big piece for her. Other plans, I'm thinking I might make some more project bags. And I think I've shown you the bags that I like making the most. I really do enjoy making the vinyl fronted bags, but I also really like doing the piecework on the back. And I know you probably don't see it very much, but I just like that. I just like that look. So that's the, oops, I'm showing you the chart. I'm not very good at this Flosstube business. Let me take that out. So that's what they look like. That's my thread for the Modern Folk Embroidery one. So, and this was one of the very first ones I made. So the zipper, I wasn't very good at putting the zipper in, but I've gotten better and I've nailed it now. So, and it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But anyway, so they're the style that I really like, and that size. And I do like them more firm too, so they don't get all flimsy and yuck. But I ended up buying some of these little, I think they're called mini charm packs. So it's these, it's just a whole, not using my words very well, just a little collection of fabrics that are all coordinating. Can you see all that? All those pretty colours. So there's some teals and pinks and greys, those sorts of little colours. So I'll use that for a bag. There's 42 squares in that little bundle there, and so that will be enough to piece a backing for one bag. And I did get a couple. So there's this one as well, Union Blues, and that's by Barbara Brackman for Moda. These are all Moda fabrics. They're really beautiful quality quilting cottons, and so they're really lovely blues and creams, and some taupes, I guess you call those. So that's those little ones. This one here that I showed you before is Sanctuary by Three Sisters. And this one, I had to get this one. This is called Country Orchard by Blackbird Designs. That's this one. And so these are really pretty too. So I love those reds and pinks. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. I'm not just sort of flicking it and So I will whip that up as well. And then the other one I got, here's some crinkling for those that love it. Sorry, very immature. These are some Tilda. This is a Tilda charm pack. So I'm not sure how many are in this. I'm not sure, it doesn't say on this particular packet. But these are Tilda fabrics, and these are getting quite hard to find. And these ones aren't quite as easy to show you because they're sort of back to front, but there's some really, really pretty florals in there. Really modern, fresh florals, and just some patterns, spots and dots and stripes, little stripes, and that sort of thing. So I got those. So that will, I'll cut those up into smaller squares. And then I bought this coordinating print, and I just thought that was so pretty. So I will use that for the front, so the zipper lining and the binding around my bag as well. So that should be very pretty. And I went and had a stitchy day with my friends at Lisa's shop, patchwork shop yesterday. With Annette, hi Nettie, and Catherine, hi Catherine, and Lisa, hi Lisa, and some other lovely ladies, including Margie and all the girls. We had a lovely day, but while I was there I also bought this, and this is the vinyl that I use for my vinyl front of project bags, and it's a by Anni vinyl, so it's quite a heavy weight vinyl. And it's the easiest I have found to sew with on the machine, on the sewing machine. It doesn't stick to the foot, the machined foot, or the feed dogs or anything like that. It just glides through quite well. Whereas some of the cheaper stuff I've used, it's not as easy to use. You can still use it, but it just doesn't give you as nice a finish. Okay, so they're my plans. I have got a bit of haul to show you, mainly charts, but while I was at Lisa's shop yesterday having a stitchy day, Lisa came out and said, oh, they've been some ladies come to the shop who, they know I'm starting to sell cross-stitch supplies, and they've got some old things that they like to share and give away if anybody is interested. And one of the things that she brought out was this old kit that someone had, and what it is, it's an English, what it says is English sampler adapted for the Victoria and Albert Museum by the Royal School of Needlework. So I imagine someone has travelled to the UK and gone to the V&A Museum, and in the V&A Museum shop they've been selling these kits of one of the cross stitches that they've had on display in their museum. And so apparently this is a reproduction, or a part reproduction, and I'll show you why I say that in a minute, but a reproduction of the work by Catherine Pickering in, Pickling in 1790, which she stitched at the age of 7. And she stitched it on a fine, even weave wool, which I thought was interesting. Anyway, so it's a part reproduction because it looks like they've excluded, what was her name? Catherine's name. So the stitching of her name and perhaps the year and her age when she stitched it, which is a little bit disappointing because I'd like to include that. So I'll do some research and see if I can find a picture of the original perhaps. And see if I can mock something up to look a little bit more like the original. But I thought that was really pretty. And in the kit, it is a full kit. It's got the ginormous chart, you know, it's one piece of paper that's this big. And it actually includes even weave wool in the kit, which I probably won't use because, you know, I think it's got a little bit of age to it and it's gone yellowish in spots, but can you see the weave in that? It is a real, it sort of looks like a cross between an even weave and an aider. It's a really unusual fabric, And it is wool, you can feel it's wool, it's got that wool texture to it. So that's what was included in the kit, along with all of the threads, and they haven't been touched. They obviously, whoever bought the kit didn't stitch it. They didn't even start stitching. So, and it's a combination of DMC and Anchor threads. So it's these ones, and there's some really beautiful colours. It's right up my alley. So it's got these really beautiful rusty reds in here, and this is DMC 501, but you can see the age on it just looking at the DMC, the little labels on the thread. It's quite, I don't know how old that would be, but you know, not the new style of labels. So that's those. So I said to Lisa, I'd love to take it home and have a stitch of it and see what it looks like. So that's those. And this great big packet that it came in. So that was pretty fun. And then I have been doing all sorts of shopping online. Terrible. This is not a very good copy. It's a black and white copy, but did you all see Christina's bunnies? I did print this on my home printer. I've got a black and white laser printer, so that's that. But I just think they are so cute with the little love heart bums. So cute. So I will definitely stitch those. I haven't pulled any threads or any fabric or anything, but I do want to start those. And these are all the charts that I've been buying. So I did place an order with another Etsy store. I talk about all this shopping all the time, don't I? A really great Etsy store, another Australian-based one that's called Motifs by Hand, or Motif by Hand, depending on where you look. They sell patchwork fabric and, you know, patchwork patterns and that sort of stuff. And they also sell a lot of cross-stitch charts. So I did place an order, and they do get the occasional Brenda Gervais charts in there. And this one is Betsy Snyder, 1822. And I thought, oh yeah, that'll be a nice little quick, easy stitch, but it's quite a big one. I haven't got, I don't know the stitch count. But I thought that was really cute with the little doggies, a little house, that sort of thing. So that's Betsy. I did buy her. But Brenda Gervais charts are quite, the older ones you just can't get in Australia. You just cannot get them. Some of her newer ones you can. And my husband is out there getting ready to go for a swim in the swimming pool. He just took all of his clothes off. Do you guys watch Anni Joyfield Stitcher? Can you hear him swimming? Anni Joyfield Stitcher, at the beginning of her Flosstube, she sings a little tune to say, you know, hello my Flosstube friends, it's time for another episode. Anyway, I tend to watch Flosstube on our big TV, our smart TV. And of course the family are usually in the room with me. And this morning I heard Don outside. He was going to get the lawnmower and he was singing Annie's hello my Flosstube friends, it's time for another episode song. Walking up the veranda singing Annie's song. So I thought that was very cute. Anyway. More charts. I'm sure you've seen these ones. Other Flosstubers, Instagram, wherever you do your own shopping. But Mary Miller is a Scarlet House chart that I've really enjoyed stitching. And so I looked for another one of hers and I ended up getting this one, which is called the Little Red Chair Sampler, because I guess it's got little red chairs in there. So I thought that was really sweet. That's not a very big one. Medium size, I'd call that. 135 by 181 high. And the called for fabric on that one is a 45 count Lakeside linen. So I might use a 45 count, but I might do a 40 because 40 really is my comfort zone. That's really my sweet spot. Okay, now another one that I found, this one is going to be crinkly. If you've got AirPods or whatever they're called in your ears, just whip them out for a tick. This is a Barbara Anna chart, and this is a reproduction sampler that she did, this one. And when I saw it, I just thought, oh, there's Frosty, my big fat cat. So this is called the Feathered Whisperers, and it's a reproduction chart from 1859. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it's also got a deer here, which is like the deer in Red Deer, the Red Deer sampler that I'm stitching from GTR. I thought that was beautiful. It's a little bit different. It's charted a little bit differently from the original. You can see the original there, and it's got this really full-on border. I think I prefer it without that border, even though I know it wouldn't be a true reproduction if it's, you know, you don't stitch that border. But I really like that. I think that's really pretty. And it's in called for DMCs. So I was pretty excited to find that one. Another fun one I bought, I could stitch Christmas any time of the year. So I saw this little guy. I thought this was a really fun one. Sampler Santa from the Needles Notion. I thought he was really fun too. He's stitched on a 32 count linen. And I've made quite a few little ragdoll type things over the years. So this little guy's got jointed arms so that they can move up and down. I don't think that would be too difficult. I think it's just attached with a button. It pivots on where the button's attached to the body. So I think that's a really, really cute little guy. So 32 count linen. I was thinking, oh, maybe I could stitch on something smaller and make a smaller Santa, but I think it'd be a bit fiddly to sew together. Oh, I can't get that back in there. I'll do that later. I also picked up this one. It's a Birds of a Feather chart, and it's called Mary Mary. And I thought he was a really cute little Santa. I don't have any Birds of a Feather. Well, I do now. I've got one, but before this I didn't have any Birds of a Feather charts. But I thought that was really cute. And when I contacted the Gobes to get some, the Cruel Goblin. Don't be silly. I did contact them to get some of the called for threads. And I got some, and I don't know what I don't know. Look at those. They don't scream Christmas to me. That's, what's that called? Fire. That's way orange, and I don't like orange. Orange is not my colour. I prefer purple. More purple than orange. You know, they seem to be the two colours that people don't like. Purple and orange, but I prefer purple than orange. But anyway. And then these two greens, they're not real Christmassy. That's called Emerald. That doesn't look emerald to me either. So that's what that little guy is supposed to be stitched in. So I don't know whether I'll do that. I might have to change the colours. What do you think, guys? They don't scream Christmas to me. But I did get some other threads. I got quite a few threads from the Cruel Goblin. Other projects. I don't even know which ones I wanted to kit up. But that's Cayenne. Isn't that a pretty colour? That might be better for Santa. And that cute pink. What's that called? Hibiscus. That's a pretty variegated pink. Anyway. Oh man, you ought to see the mess I've made here today. It is bad. Okay, more charts. See, I've gone crazy. This one. This is in one of those horrible plastic things that I don't like. I don't like them at all. But this also came from Motifs by Hand, who is actually currently an Etsy store, but they're opening a brick and mortar shop in Canberra, which is capital of Australia, a small city. They're going to open a store, a brick and mortar store, so that's pretty fun. So this is Cross Stitch Antiques Antique Pattern Album. So this is a chart for basically a template that some of those little girls used to look at to put together their samplers. So I thought that was pretty fun. So there's some really, that butterfly is beautiful. So I thought that would be quite fun to put those little pages together in cross stitch. And then Mama, what's her name? Michelle, Mama Loves You GB. She mentioned the other day that Stacey Nash has got her PDFs in an Etsy store now. Ooh, that's dangerous. Dangerous. Anyway, so I went on Stacey's Etsy page and bought 3. Because I could. First one is Gathering the Greens sampler. This really beautiful one. I love that house. I don't even know what colour it would be. Bee's Knees? Maybe. That's really pretty. I felt that was really, really lovely. So I got that one. And then you've seen P. Roy. I think I've shown P. Roy before, which is Stacey, one of her animal crackers. This little slug. And I have stitched Clementine the cat too, but I haven't finished her, fully finished her. But this is Paisley, I think. Yeah, Paisley. I thought Paisley's real sweet. So it's the end of summer here, which is a bit sad given we didn't really have a summer. It was way too cool. So we're heading into winter, so maybe I'll do Paisley for winter time. But I don't stitch seasonally. I just stitch whatever I want when I want. And this one, I've always loved this one. This is called Fresh Picked Pin Keeper. Blimey, it's a big pin cushion. What is it? 184 wide by 125 high. That's a big pin cushion. I might have to do that on 60 count. Anyway, beautiful. That'd be nice in a frame, I think, rather than a pin cushion. So that's Stacey's Glorious Things. And then I got Kathy Barracks AA to EE. That really pretty Quaker style thing, I suppose you'd call that. Is that what it's called? A reproduction of an 1806 Quaker sampler, so it's a pretty old one. So that's that. I have no plans to start these anytime soon, but. And then lastly, I found this one, which I just love, this little one. So it's called Agnes Platt Strawberry Sampler. And so there's more in this than what is on the front. Is there? I can't really show you without showing you the chart, but there's that one in bigger picture. I think that's really cute. A cute little house. Get all the blackbirds in that one. I think Carol showed that one recently. She'd stitched that little cutie. Okay, so that's all the haul. And the last thing I wanted to tell you guys about is some other YouTube channels that I've been watching. Not Flosstube, just some entertaining YouTube videos that I've watched. One is just a one-off video that is a tour of Hatfield House in England. And like I've said in previous videos, I enjoy reading and learning about Tudor history. And Hatfield House, it's a really beautiful old home that's still lived in by Lord Salisbury and his family, and his dog. You'll see in the video his dog. And in Hatfield House there's a couple of original paintings of Queen Elizabeth I, which are pretty spectacular, pretty amazing and well-known paintings. So it's a tour of the house, and part of the tour includes a look at a couple of those paintings. And it also, in the house, is a display of the first draft of the order to execute Mary Queen of Scots. So the very first draft of the order to execute that lady. So it's pretty amazing to see that. You know, that happened in the 1500s. So pretty special, but a really beautiful tour of the house by Lord Salisbury and an academic who, you know, explains the meaning behind some of the symbolism in the paintings and some of the other parts of the house. So I really recommend that one, and I will link it below if you'd like to have a look at it. The second YouTube channel that I really enjoy watching, and a lot of you may have already heard of this guy, it's Baumgartner's, what's it called? Fine Art Restoration. And again, I will link it down below. But it's a young guy, or a guy who restores, as the name suggests, some very fine art paintings, portraits, that sort of thing, and it just takes you through the process of how he restores some of those paintings. And a lot of those paintings are very damaged, and, you know, been exposed to lots of years of dirt and grime, and you know, things penetrating through the canvas, tears and soot and smoke and all sorts of things, and lots of dirt. So it shows you how they clean them and how they restretch them and how they fix some of those problems with those paintings. So that's a really enjoyable. I find that really enjoyable to watch that. It's a guy based in America. I'm not sure whereabouts he is in the US, but he's got a really nice voice, really nice to listen to. Obviously he has been doing this for a long time, very experienced. So I would certainly recommend that if that sounds like something that you think you might enjoy, go and have a look. Okay, well, I will insert a clip in a second of Niamh and I. We have got a little announcement to make, just something to thank everybody for, you know, for listening in and subscribing and that sort of, all that sort of YouTubey stuff. So I'll insert that in a minute. So I'll be back in a tick.
Hello everybody, I'm back from the last video. Thank you for 2,000 subscribers on my mum's YouTube channel.
And thanks for all the great comments about Niamh's bag.
All of the comments on my bag and stuff. And my mum and I were thinking that at 3,000 subscribers we'll do a giveaway for some bags.
Because we're fast approaching 3,000 people, aren't we?
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing. Not something that any of us expected would happen. With me doing a Flosstube. I thought maybe my mum and my friends would watch it, but it's just wonderful. So we did. Niamh and I thought we could, together we'll make some project bags. We'll make a couple of project bags, and when we get to 3,000 subscribers, we'll do a little giveaway just to say thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Niamh will leave us here, I think. And
yep.
I'll be back to say bye shortly.
Hopefully I'll be able to come back in the next video.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Okay guys, well I think that's all I've got to share with you today. As always, any questions or anything like that, just please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. I love reading your comments, so if you're keen to have a chat, I'm keen to have a chat back. Alright, so everybody please take care. Happy stitching. I hope you get lots of stitching in, and you have a great couple of weeks. Until next time, bye.